Hey guys, thanks for sticking with us to the end. We're on day 6 of our 6-part Prep to Hunt series. We've really built some confidence in our rifle system and our fundamentals of marksmanship. I'm really excited. I got Phil again with us, got Zach back. Zach, what do we got going today?
So today we're basically gonna take a rifle that we cleaned, we're gonna foul it, confirm a 0, double check muzzle velocity, and then we're gonna jump into a hunting scenario that each of us have found ourselves in over the last few years and basically replicate it, see if we can do anything better and just kind of walk you guys through that. And then we'll jump to Phil at the end. Phil, what do you have for us?
Yeah, I think at the very end we'll start getting into very modern competitions that we see to promote the sport of hunting, precision hunting, and essentially as a hunter figuring out ways to refine our skills in the off season. So at the very end I'd like to go through some drills that really cleans up our processes before we actually go on a hunt.
Sounds good. Let's get started with checking our 0. All right guys, after day 5 we went home, got the gun clean again. Our goal for today, after our practice, we're gonna have about 20 rounds on the gun. So right now the barrel's still clean. Our first round, as usual, we would expect it to be low in velocity and possibly out of our normal 0 group. So we're gonna start the day, we're gonna get a good 0, shooting over the chronograph again. Again, we're just wanting to keep track and confirm that our 0 is holding and that when we're out in the field, we could always rely on that first round. But that's having the 20 rounds on the gun, and that's what's gonna set us up for hunting season. So let's check our 0. All right, just to talk about our 0, this is the target I was aiming. I was aiming dead center here. Something to be aware of. We've got a really hot day. It's over 90. The target is sunlit and it was kind of dancing with the mirage. And then I've got some heat coming off of my can there, and I've got mirage there as well that I'm fighting. So within that, I've got some movement happening, and we talked about just trusting the float and squeezing through the shot. That's essentially what I'm doing. My cold bore shot, or I'm sorry, not cold bore, our clean bore shot was this guy here on the right. Next shot went down here to the left, and then the next 3 stacked all right next to each other. So there's sometimes funny stuff that happens with your 0. I'm not gonna move anything on my scope or in my solver to account for this. I'm gonna run with it where it's at. If it was bigger than this, this is not even a 1/2 tenth low to the center of the group and maybe 1/10 or 2/10 left. And I'm just gonna be aware of this. If it was a bigger movement, then I might make a change in my scope. Again, this just gives us a good opportunity to emphasize how important it is to keep track of your 0. If it was worse than this, we're definitely gonna see a change downrange. We're gonna start shooting today, and if we see everything trending low left, that tells us then we actually do need to make a change in our scope, and it wasn't just down to the mirage we were seeing.
All right, so in my situation, I was in Wyoming and I was shooting off a bluff down at a buck at about mid 400s as far as range. So we don't have the downhill angle here, so we're just gonna be shooting flat. But one thing to kind of keep in mind is when you're looking at terrain from where you're gonna shoot is just kind of keeping in mind how much elevation you're gonna have. I wasn't running a bipod, so I had to run it off my pack. So I have to think about how much elevation I can get with my pack. So honestly, right here, there's a little mound. It's gonna just give me an extra probably 3 or 4 inches. So I would set my pack here, and then I'm just gonna lay my gun down and grab my butt pad. It's not gonna change the overall height of my backpack, and now I can use my bino harness or my butt pad, which is what I used for my rear rest. And from there, grab a range. When I was in Wyoming, I had my Kestrel as backup on my dope. Right now I'm running the Swaro EL, so either way, I was able to grab my dope, which I'll dial in. And today it's pretty calm, and Wyoming was pretty calm. It was mostly a straight up. We'll probably hold straight up, and I'm just gonna get behind the gun and see if we can get steady. So immediately I can tell I'm too short. On the left side, I've got my spotter under there, so I'm gonna pick the gun up and slide this over. And now we have a little more elevation. Turn this on. Okay. Okay. So we hit the target. I felt pretty steady. Gun kind of jumped just up and to the left a little bit, but was able to see my shot. And honestly, I took a lot more time, and I had more time when I was down in Wyoming, but this is a pretty quick and stable setup, especially if you're not running a bipod. And the only thing that I would really change about this would honestly be taking a bipod. The only downside with shooting off your backpack is that if it's not really full, if you're not backpack hunting, it's honestly kind of a low rest. I was also shooting downhill, so when the gun's like this, it wants to slide forward away from your shoulder. So in Wyoming, I really had to be conscious about slightly pulling the butt of the gun into my shoulder so that I had that connection and had good recoil management.
So for my shot, a couple years ago, I shot an antelope right at about 600 yards from a low kneeling position. Now, I decided to shoot him from a tripod because I had a lot of sagebrush in the area that I was hunting him at, and we actually had spotted him from the truck probably about 1,500 to a mile, 1,500 yards to a mile away. And so we got out of the truck and kind of used some low terrain to stalk to him. And I got within about 550 at first, but he was feeding and kind of walking away. And by the time I actually shot him, he was about 600. So he gave me plenty of time to pretty much set up. But like I said, there was no really way to get prone. And I knew that because I was shooting a 6.5 PRC, I needed to be able to just manage that recoil a little bit more efficiently. So I decided to just shoot him from that tripod. One thing I did not have, if you see in the video, is a pack with me because I just decided to stalk with my rifle and tripod. But looking back, I wish I would have brought a pack just to increase that little bit of stability. So that's what I'm gonna do here is show you how I would just have recreated that position with the pack. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my tripod set up, and this is the tripod that I was using with the Anvil 30. It's a little hunting tripod that they got there, and that's a little low. Had a nice wide base. With my shot. So I set my tripod position up. I'm gonna clip in just like I did. I clipped in for that shot, and if you notice here, I have an arm board attached to the buttstock, and that's something that I typically do is I always have some type of hard data with my rifle so that I'm not relying on any type of, electronic data to give me my firing solution. So as he was walking away, as I was setting up, I did have observers with me, but at the end of the day, like, I only trust myself to get a range to the target. No offense to anybody else, but when you take that shot, it's ultimately up to you to make sure that your range is your range to your target. So big technique with this is just making sure that you've got a good stable platform to laze off of. And so again, he was walking away. By the time I clocked him, he's roughly was right about 600. And then I just looked on the side of my dope chart there. 600 gives me 3.2 for this elevation, and I went ahead and built my position. Again, because I didn't use a pack the first time, I'm gonna use a pack this time, just to show you how I would have just made my position a little bit more efficient. So you see I'm in this kind of low double kneeling. It's not that comfortable. I've got a little bit of up and down. So what I'm gonna do with this pack is actually I'm gonna straddle it just to get a little bit more comfort here with my leg position and sit down on it. And that just really feels a lot better than what I was doing there. So looking at the mirage, and that's one thing that there's a lot of mirage when I shot him. Looked like light to right to left. It does look like there's too much mirage here, so I'm just gonna go ahead, chamber it. I got more wobble than I want to right now. Try to reset here. And I just missed underneath it. Engage. And that second shot was pretty centered up. Engage. So not perfect with my first shot. The target looks like it's pretty small, but again, that is pretty much my shot scenario. Thankfully, the first time during my actual hunt, I got him for the first time, and you see in the video, I drop him right there in his tracks. But one of those shots sometimes are once in a lifetime, and that's why we come out here, we train, we practice, because sometimes, you know, everything lines up the way we want to, and sometimes it doesn't. But that's the beautiful part of training and using all your gear and training with your gear in these types of environments and scenarios. So.
All right, guys, so the shooting situation that I'm recreating, I was on a hunt with some really good friends, and Stone Glacier was filming it. It's called Over and Out, and we spotted a pretty good bull the day before season opened, and fortunately my friends let me shoot it. I was really excited about it. So the next morning we woke up and the bull was still down. I think it was about 1.5 miles or 2 miles from camp. So when we were making our way in to shoot it, it was feeding up this avalanche chute with all of its cows. And there was kind of a cliff band off to the right that they're feeding over. And we wanted to get a little closer, but I didn't want him to get over that cliff band, because if we shot him there, he would have fell off the cliff and possibly damaged meat in that. So what I elected to do was shoot him in the avalanche chute, because if he fell, he would have just slid to the bottom. And I wasn't too worried about that. So what was interesting about it, we had so much snow. We had a couple blizzards come through the days leading up to it. So we were in quite a bit of snow. We were in this funny side hill. I was using the same Hatch Out West bipod. The legs were actually fully extended because I was trying to get down through the snow to where it would get a little bit more stable. Again, my rear support was, we were just laying in snow and a funny side hill. So I ended up laying my pack down to give me a big base for my rear support. Again, there was a lot of shimmying and extending my bipod. It took me quite a bit of time just to kind of get to where I was really stable. That bull was at 727. There was no wind that morning. There was maybe a touch of downhill thermal, which I accounted for on the shot. This target that I'm shooting at is at 795, so kind of in the neighborhood. I'm gonna confirm range here. We're at 795. One thing, my position was pretty good. I may have actually set up my tripod and shot off that, but my friend Andrew was running the spotter, the phone scope with my tripod, so I decided to use my bipod front. The thing that I would have done better, at the time I remember I did not account for the angle that I was shooting. I had my rangefinder set up for line of sight, and I just remember we're shooting slide uphill and I didn't account for that, and the shot ended up a touch high. Everything worked out great. It killed the bull pretty quick, but again, like ideally I want to be as pinpoint accurate as I can, especially taking a shot at 727. That's on the outer end of where I feel comfortable. Again, the wind is a big factor most of the time. In this particular situation, because I didn't account for that angle, I probably should have taken a 10th out. Well, here I'm at 795. My dope is 5.1. So again, this was a really funny position with the side hill. And I had to work my way into it a couple times. Same thing as I'm doing here. And I had moved my bipod feet quite a bit, or the legs, to get my height correct. So here I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, that feels really good there. So I'm gonna try the shot. Man, the wind was just blowing. I'm still seeing a touch of left to right. I'm gonna just hold a couple tenths left. When I missed just off the left, I'm gonna go to 4/10. A really good correction. I held a touch higher because it looked like it might have gone just under that right tip. So I went to 4/10 of wind and held a touch higher. But yeah, on that shot, man, I felt really proud of it because it was such a funny position. That bull ended up sliding all the way down the avalanche chute, which broke off a full antler at the base. It was pretty wild to see. But it was overall, man, it was really the reason that I'm in the hunting. It was for the adventure. We were way deep in the mountains with some really good friends. Buddy Zack that you guys have been shooting with on this series, he was there filming. Just a great experience, and the shot and all that went pretty good. It was one shot, entered in the last rib, landing the offside shoulder. So yeah, this is a really funny position. It's fun to recreate it, and I think it'd be a good one for you guys to try out. All right, guys, here's that little bonus training footage we like to do. When we get together, we like to compete against each other, set up stages, make them pretty hard, see who wins. This is a really good training exercise that you guys might want to try out in the competition world. It's NRL Hunter. We've got 2 targets from 2 positions. So we're gonna get going. We're gonna take turns whoever loses buys drinks tonight.
Do you understand the course of fire?
I do.
Stand by, engage.
Woo, that was tough.
What was that score? Twice, yeah. I was wondering why you shot that. You hit it the first time.
I did? Oh, I don't know. All right, guys, a little debrief from my stage that I shot there. Little hiccups there a little bit. I think my dope wasn't quite perfect. I don't know if I didn't range right. I should have been pretty close, but I shot under that coyote, added a couple clicks, hit it, went out to the far one, hit it, moved positions. I caught a little trigger cam to the head. Apparently I hit the target. I thought I missed it. I took that trigger cam. So I shot it again, hit it twice in a row, I guess, and then I went out to the far one, was a touch over it, took a click out of my dope, and hit it on the last one. It's like, they're giving me a 6. I might actually supposed to be a 5. We're gonna go a 6. We'll see where we go. 31 seconds left. So let's see these guys shoot it.
All right, shooter, understand the course of fire? Yep. Stand by, engage. done. 23 seconds left.
Well, I know who won't be buying drinks. So clean run there. Everything felt pretty good. I wasn't super on my game as far as like micromanaging where I was seeing hits on the plate, trying to correct to center, but we got all our hits. I didn't really realize that the tiebreaker was going to go on time, so I was kind of dilly-dallying. So hopefully Phil drops one, and I take the gold. So we'll see how he does.
I guess I'm the last guy. Let's do it.
Dude, you got B6, dude.
All
Or clean faster than 23 seconds left. All right, shooter on sand, course fire.
Shooter stands.
Shooter ready?
Ready.
Engage.
I almost had it. What's my time?
37 seconds left.
Ah.
You won on time, bud.
How many seconds?
No, I mean, Zach won because he cleaned it.
But you win it.
Yeah. Well, I misjudged the wind call on the second target. I missed just right in front of him, and it came off to the left. But I actually like this position here. You know, one thing that we didn't really talk about, just using this leg as a rear arm support. So this is one of the beautiful things about competition. Is just it allows you to explore positions that you normally wouldn't think of, by watching other shooters, and this is something that I've seen a shooter that shoots in a lot of angles. Actually, Hat Creek, they do a lot of angled shooting and mountainous shooting, so I just figured I'd recreate it here, and it worked out pretty well. Really happy with the recoil management and stability factor with this position here. So that pretty much wraps up the day. Looks like Jared's buying beers.
All right, guys, that's a wrap on our Prep to Hunt series. We want to thank you guys for following along with us on this journey. I want to encourage you guys, don't stop here. Keep practicing, keep training, whether it's at the range or shooting rocks out in the field. I also want to wish you guys luck this fall. And if you guys aren't happy with the way your rifle's shooting, give the shop a call. This rifle is going to be dropping later this fall. If you're interested in it, give us a call. Also, we're really interested in your guys' feedback. If you guys like what we're doing, don't like what we're doing, share a comment down below and tell us what you think. We want to engage with you guys, and if you like this type of content, we want to give you guys more. So good luck this fall, and we'll see you guys out on the range.